Last week, Ford pretty much unleashed all the specs for their 2025 Ford Super Duty. And I had the chance to build a 2025 Ford F350 trimmer package on the Platinum Plus, which is the new top trim level. No more is the limited with the Admiral, Blue, and Slate interior. Now you have Platinum Plus with the truffle interior. I like the fact that they offer that package now with the trimmer off-road package, because now you get the most luxurious interior, which is pretty much in line with what GMC did. They have the AT4X, has the most nicest interior I think you get in an HD truck right now, but you have the ruggedness on the exterior. 35-inch tires, taller ride height, perfect truck. And Ford pretty much follows suit, and they give you a 1-ton. So gotta catch up, GMC. Now with that being said, they made some great strides for 2025. Also, they made some great fails, and we are going to talk about it. I got a bunch of information from the dealer. I was looking at potentially, not saying I will, but I was kind of looking at building an F350, because now with the Platinum you can get blackout. It's kind of cool, and if you get the trimmer package, even better. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're gonna go through the first point here. These are the fails I found on this 2025 truck. Now before we get started, I want to read the overview. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but I want to highlight something that they said in this, because it always makes me laugh when manufacturers say this. The 2025 Super Duty transitions to a more efficient and simplified offering strategy. Oh, I love the way that sounds. That is the most well-written sentence I've read from any manufacturer. They have transitioned to a more efficient and simplified strategy, which means we gonna take some stuff away and charge about the same amount of money. Standard content options and packages have been significantly updated versus prior model years. It goes on to talk about 360 camera and the Ford Copilot 360. It also talks about the engine changes. I cannot wait to do a video on that. I want to do it now, but I just don't have time. But yes, I got to talk about that change, because I think some people are going to welcome it and some people are going to be a little upset by it. So yes, that should be a good video. So let's go ahead and get started, because we got a lot to cover here. And the first point, so this is a major fail, in my opinion, from Ford. Now, you guys have known that the Lariat trim has always been just the pinnacle of just the bargain luxury trim. I think it really outbids even on the Ram side of the house, even with discounts. It's just a better option truck with the Lariat package, especially if you add the Ultimate package, the twin panel moonroof, all that stuff. It's just a good trim. For 2025, they've decided to add ActiveX seating material as standard equipment. Now, here's my opinion on this. ActiveX is a more durable material compared to leather. The only problem is Lariat has always had leather seating for a while. And my humble opinion is, instead of changing the bread and butter of this truck, why not make ActiveX an option on maybe the XLT as an upcharge and make money that way? Nope. ActiveX is a cost-cutting option for the manufacturer, Ford, and now leather is an option or a upgrade for the Lariat package. Say what you will, I think that this right here is just bad business. I think they should not do that. The Lariat is the best trim level in the segment. I really do believe that, especially depending on how you configure. If you get an 8-foot bed, you get the 48-gallon fuel tank. It's just a great trim, and I feel as though if you're in the market and you're kind of on the fence between 24 and 25, I would go ahead and find the perfectly spec Lariat you can find right now. So it gets worse. Lariat also loses, this is my second point, they also lose ambient lighting in the second row for the Lariat trim, guys. Again, how much money are they saving to kick out that little bit of light? And granted, it's on the doors, and I believe it's on the floor too. So at nighttime, it just gives it a nice ambiance. Now, maybe a lot of people aren't gonna even notice that being gone, especially if you've never owned a Ford truck. My GMC, for example, doesn't have any ambient lighting, and I hate it. I almost wanna add lighting to my truck, because it's nice to have a little bit of ambiance when you drive at night. And I drive at night at least 3 or 4 times a week. Now, that was the second point. Not a big deal in the ambient lighting, but I feel like it was worth mentioning because they've had it for a while. Up next, This was a huge, I would say, advantage that they've had with this trim level 2, which is the power adjustable steering column. Gone for the Lariat for 2025. I was shocked by that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Nickel and diming, again, one of your most popular trims. I'm not sure which trim is the most popular. I would say by what I've seen out, STX is probably the most popular trim level because you still get the appearance, but you just don't get the interior. But the Lariat is like the best of both worlds. You get the appearance and you get the leather seating, heated and ventilated seats, all that stuff. But for 2025, they killed the power steering column for the Lariat. Okay, let's get off of the Lariat for a second. For a second, that is. Now, one of my biggest raves last year, and really this year, about the Ford Super Duty is how they're willing to raise the bar, do things different, and make their trucks just better all-around trucks. This next point, I think that some people are going to laugh at this because this didn't make sense to me. So the 2 kilowatt Pro Power system was now taken off of the King Ranch and the standard Platinum. So now when you're going to build your truck, you have to remember to opt your truck with the 2,000 watts of power in the bed. Now I haven't gotten any confirmation on this yet, but I'm not even sure if you still get a 400 watt plug standard, because I've seen some trucks at the dealership, if they don't have the 2,000 watts of power, they don't put a power plug back there. So I use my power plug, not a lot, but maybe 3 or 4 times a month. There have been times where I've needed to use it to charge something. Like I have a power station, and sometimes I will plug it in the back of my truck when my solar power is just not working or it's just not charging fast enough. So having that power is just nice to have. Now, here we are back on the Lariat again. This one right here is gonna make some people mad. Fixed rear window, now standard for Lariat. On your most popular trim, you're nickel and diming the customer. You can tell which trim is the moneymaker for a manufacturer by what they change on it. Now, what that's going to do is going to either push people to go to a higher trim level, or it's going to require more people to just order their truck. And some people won't notice some of these changes until they drive off the lot anyways. Now, if I was a manufacturer, I would feel as though doing right by the customer is the right thing to do. I would just make certain things like a power sliding glass in the rear standard equipment. I just don't think that that's something that should be an option. It's just my humble opinion. I actually have known guys not to buy specific trucks that didn't have the power sliding glass. It's not a big deal until you use it. See, on my truck, like right now in the fall and early spring, I never really turn my AC on because it's like 60, 70 degrees outside. So you can crack that rear glass, vent your sunroof, and you get a nice breeze coming through the truck. So for someone who likes that nice luxury, you gotta make sure you buy it for your truck now because it's an option. The next thing, I was shocked by this because it would have been nice for them to at least make this an option, but they actually discontinued this feature indefinitely. Now I don't know why they did this, and maybe in the comment section, maybe someone who knows an engineer, I would like to know why they discontinued this, because this is something that I actually was gonna buy a Platinum trim level for. The reason why I didn't buy a Lariat at the time was because I was like, you know what, I really want that camera and parking sensors on top of the tailgate. See, when I had my fifth wheel, there have been a few times where I forgot that my tailgate was down, and when you still can see and have the sensors warn you that you're getting close to an object, that was nice. So for 2025, this is my 6th point. The tailgate down camera and rear park aid is no longer on top of the tailgate for the King Ranch and now Platinum Plus trims. Gone. They just kicked it off. And that was a big deal for me. I don't know why they did that, and I really would like to have an idea, or even if you can speculate in the comment section, I don't understand why they would do that. It seems like it was a nice feature, and it was actually something that a lot of people told me they liked about the truck too. Now, the next thing, the Sport Appearance package did go away for 2025. Now, I think that a few people are going to be on the fence with that because a lot of people hated the black appearance wheels for the Lariat and the XLT. And it seems like for this year, you're not going to have the Sport Appearance package as an offset for those ugly wheels. I don't really care about wheel design as much as some people do. Like, I would be okay with those wheels, but a lot of people didn't like those wheels. So hopefully they make the sport appearance wheels standard equipment for the black appearance. I doubt it, but hopefully they do that. So the last thing is not a big one, but this is a big one for me. Another reason why I like Ford trucks the most is because of their upfitter switches. For 2025, they're now optional for King Ranch and Platinum, which is my last point. You know, on the GMC trucks, I showed you guys in the door card at the bottom part on the Denali Ultimate and on the AT4X and on the regular Denali, they had this leather treatment on the door. Chevy had the same thing on the High Country. For 2025, they took that away. And I'm like, it's like the smallest things. Now again, most people didn't even notice it was there. But for me, on my truck, I have it. If I wanted to upgrade to a 26 or 27, even though it's not that big of a deal, it's the principle in my opinion. It's like, why take away this benefits that you had on the previous truck? It's almost like it's better to just buy the truck, you know, in its first model year, but then again, in the next model year, they'll add things that you might want. So it's like, it's almost like a game of, do you wait? Do you just buy now? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And the biggest thing on this list here that I see is, how can we save money as a manufacturer and still charge the price that we want? That's what I see here. And I think that the manufacturers are going to start to really tick off real buyers. I can see myself keeping my GMC a lot longer. You know, even though I like the idea of the Platinum Plus with the trimmer package, my truck is just as nice. And again, like, I feel as though the prices are not going down. They're continuing to rise ever so slightly. Now, I haven't looked at the pricing quite yet on these trucks yet, but if I was a betting man, I'm willing to bet you that the pricing is lower until you start seeing what you're missing. And then when you start adding things back to the truck, you're going to probably be a little bit higher, because now it's packaged in such a way where certain things are going to need to be optioned to make it what it was back in 2024 truck model year. So I want to go ahead and end off this video because I was rambling for too long there. And so I want to just kind of end this off right now with a question. Are you guys okay with these changes? I want to know from most of you Ford guys, if you've already bought a 23 or 24, are you happy that you bought your truck like right now? Like, I'm super happy I didn't wait. Or are you like, you know what, it's not that big of a deal. You know, I'm sure some of the stuff will be in packages, or I can still upgrade the lariat to leather, not a big deal. Ford will be okay in my opinion. I think that this is not going to really affect them. Ram, I feel bad for Ram. Ram's going to have a tough road ahead of them. Now, I haven't heard their powertrain, and their powertrain could be amazing. But if I was making a decision right now to order a truck, I would not wait for Ram. I'm just being honest. That's just my humble opinion. Nothing against Ram. It's just right now, I mean, they have the best deals. If you need to buy a truck right now, I mean, buy a Ram. Like, you're going to get crazy money off of those trucks. I think GM right now is still like a highest contender on my list. If I had to buy a truck next year, or my truck got totaled or whatever, God forbid, I think that I would be really looking towards GM, either Chevy or GMC. I can go either way. I'm not a hater on Chevy. I think I like Chevy trucks a little bit better in their design right now. But like, Ram's not even in the discussion right now. But I think Ford, if they really want to keep their lariat buyers happy, these changes are not going to do that. That's just my humble opinion. I think that if I were a lariat truck buyer, I would not even be excited about switching out, because even if you have a 2022, I mean, you have features on the 2022 that you can't get on a 25. Like, that's crazy. So shrinkflation is real, and I think that the manufacturer should really consider the customers a little bit better, in my opinion. But I hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. See you guys soon.